Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Sustainable Talks with Maria J. And it's almost the end of another year, and with a new year there comes New Year's resolutions. So I thought today we could have a quick and easy chat about some sustainable New Year's resolutions that you guys can introduce for 2020. To be honest, I'm not the best with New Year's resolutions. Generally within a month or two I tend to forget what my New Year's resolutions is. So I do try to write it down, but even then when I do, I forget about them. I'll just quickly go over some of my goals from this year. I had a few goals and I decided to break it down to make it a bit more achievable, because when you set up a goal, to be more healthier, it's a bit harder to attain that, I feel like, throughout the year. If you break it down and be like, I want to eat more veggies every day, then I feel like that's more achievable and it can help you get your overall goal. So my goals for 2019 were, for number one, to stop being so I don't know, because I used to say it quite a lot. I guess I was quite indecisive with what I wanted to do with my life, and I was faced with opportunities and certain decisions, but I just could never make up my mind whether it was the right choice or not. I didn't know if I decided yes, if it would be a good outcome or a bad outcome. And I guess you just have to go with it. My main example would have been work. I felt like I was stuck in a rut and I wasn't enjoying work as much as possible, so I was constantly feeling I don't know. I had a few decisions that I needed to make about work, and being indecisive, I think, really affected me negatively. So I think overall throughout the year I have attained this goal, and I do say I don't know less in terms of career, life-changing circumstances. I still say it all the time when I don't know what to eat kind of thing, but insignificant shit, Number two was to try and make my bullet journal happen, and it didn't. I'm really bad at it. Number three was to go vegan and be healthy, which has been partially achieved. I am not full vegetarian, but I do eat meat maybe once a week, once a fortnight, not as often. So I think that's something I'm still working on towards. And number four of my goal was to be more minimal and to be more mindful. I think I've definitely improved on this goal, but I haven't achieved it. That being said, I think it isn't a stationary goal. So to be more mindful and to be more minimal, there's always different ways. It's always changing and developing. And I think I've sort of achieved this goal. I am a bit more mindful, I suppose, as compared to last year. And I did do a few culls thanks to Marie Kondo, but I still have a bit of an issue there, because I feel like throwing things out, even though I don't really need it, doesn't sit well with me, because it ends up in landfill, and landfill is pretty bad. So of course there's options to donate and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes it's small insignificant things that no one will actually want, but there's no way to recycle it yet. So I tend to hold on to it in the hopes that eventually there will be a way to recycle them. So I guess in the first place I should just stop accumulating these random shit things that I can't recycle, which I have recently noticed that I am starting to develop a thinking habit in that sense. I hope that made sense. I thought I'll give you guys some quick tips or suggestions as to what you guys can do for your 2020 goals. I'm going to go through some basic ones for the ones out there who are looking for something completely fresh, and you guys haven't done anything sustainably before and you want to set yourself an easy challenge to do. And I'm also going to suggest a few harder ones, but most of these suggestions are all revolving daily life activities, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. So let's get into it. Number one is to get yourself reusable stuff. Hello, sorry. Number one is to ditch disposable plastics and get yourself some reusable stuff. So for example is to ditch the plastic bags and get yourself a reusable shopping bag. They're super useful, not only just for shops, but whenever I just use tote bags, to be honest. So they're easy day bags, but they're also really compact and super light to carry around, and they're always useful. Also ditch the plastic bottles, disposable plastic bottles, get a reusable one. And I recommend the Swell bottles because they are thermal, which is really great. It keeps your water warm or hot in the winter for 12 hours or so, and then in the summer it keeps it icy cold for up to 24 hours or sometimes 48 hours, depending on the brand you get, which is pretty great. Like, it's a bit exy, about maybe 40 plus bucks, depends on where you shop and what brand you get, but it's a worthwhile investment. And to go along with that is to just ditch disposable cutlery. So to get yourself a cutlery set in a nice little kit, they sell them everywhere nowadays, so you can just buy that, pack it in your bag, and take it with you wherever you go. And instead of using plastic spoons, forks, knives, chopsticks, all of that, you can just use your own. Maybe even like set yourself a challenge of like refusing to use these first, to become more aware of how difficult life is without these disposable plastic crap. So every time you go to the shops, plastic bags are always readily available there. When you need water and you're thirsty, like, you just go into the shops and buy a bottle of water. But like, I feel like if you set yourself a challenge of not using these items for a week, you'll realize like, crap, I'm quite dependent on this stuff. But then you also realize, I suppose, like, you know, you're using this stuff like maybe, you know, 5 to 7 days a week, and all of that adds up throughout a year, not to mention over your lifetime span. I'm not going to do the maths, but it's a crap load of plastic. So I think that's a nice, easy way to get yourself into having a bit of a more sustainable goal for the year 2020. Option number 2 is to opt for green cleaning products. So items like laundry detergents, multi-purpose cleaner, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of brands out there now that are eco-friendly, so they don't use harsh chemicals that can go down your drains and into the ocean. But there's also a lot of websites out there on the interweb where they tell you how to DIY your own cleaning products. So for example, apple cider vinegar is the #1 staple for cleaning stuff, as well as baking soda. It works absolute miracles. So if you have any certain items that you need to clean, check it out. Like, just do a quick Google. You'll find so many homemade remedies to make cleaning products that are nicer to the environment. Number 3, for those who are a bit more green savvy and, you know, a bit more eco already, if you're already doing like the easy steps, one thing I would recommend is to look out for the labels when you guys are shopping. So the APC labels came out early this year, mid this year, and basically they're on the back of most packaging items regarding like that you can find in your grocery stores, like salad bags, boxes, cereal boxes, all that kind of stuff. And there's little logos on there now that tell you how to dispose of those packaging. One thing I've tried doing myself now is when I do go to the shops, not only am I looking to see if the product itself is a bit more local or, like, you know, not using harsh chemicals, but I also keep an eye out now to see how to best dispose of those packaging, because it does have a deciding factor in the products I purchase now. If I can't recycle it, then I try not to buy it. So I think that's probably one goal I'm going to definitely give myself next year. I would definitely like to know more about that and improve my shopping skills when it comes to sustainable stuff, buying sustainable products. Okay, tip number 4. A friend suggested this one, but basically listing every purchase of clothing that you buy, because we are obsessed with fast fashion. And I guess, like, by listing these products, the goal is at the end of the year to be able to see what kind of products you have been buying, whether more staple items like socks and undies, or, you know, if they are fast fashion items like, you know, $10 tops at H&M every week. And to go along with that as well is to also hang your clothes on your hanger rails backwards, and basically as you wear them you flip the coat hangers back the correct way, I suppose, if that makes sense. So that way by the end of a year or a month or a certain time period, you can see which clothes haven't been worn because they're still flipped backwards. And in that sense, it can help you decide whether to cull those certain clothing. It's a simple way to cull, basically. So I'm definitely going to give that a go next year, because I do have quite a bit of clothes. I have culled a lot of clothes, but I feel like there's a lot of clothes that I just really like, but sometimes I don't have the occasion to wear it. And number 5, another easy one, which is to drive less and catch more public transport or bike around more. So basically there's a term for it which is called, I think it's passive transportation or something like that. I'll just type it up here when I remember it, but there's a special term for it when you study urban design and all that kind of stuff and planning. Number 6, a really fun one, is to grow your own veggies. I absolutely love this one. I've grown up with my parents growing their own veggies, so I've got a bit of a green thumb, but I could do a lot better, like a shit ton better. Basic things that you can easily grow and start your garden with is stuff like strawberry plants as well as tomatoes. I find tomatoes absolutely thrive and they fruit so well. So at the moment I've got tomato plant in the backyard, I've got tomato seedlings, I've got spring onions, which is super easy. Basically you go to the shops, buy your spring onions, and then like you chop off and leave the root bit at the bottom, immerse that in water for a few days, and then you repot it. Leeks also do the same thing, which is what I'm currently doing. They're ready to pop, but I'm a bit lazy right now. The thing is though, when you do these tricks, you've got to change the water every 2 or 3 days. Otherwise, because of the stagnant water, it does end up smelling a little bit sometimes, and your veggies can end up dying. Another simple trick is also with capsicum. So when you go to the store and you buy a capsicum, you cut the seed out, get that whole seedy thing, and just chuck it in the ground, water it a few days, a week, and you'll get capsicum plants coming out of that as well. It's such simple things to do. We do our groceries every day, we buy veggies all the time, but we always throw away the seed, which like it's free seedlings. You go to Bunnings and it's like $5 a packet, but no one thinks about it that way, I guess. Well, not many people, or not everyone. Anyway, so growing your own veggies, because I feel like there's a sense of pride in the food that you grow. It's a bit of physical activity that gets you out in the sunshine, getting some vitamin D. You get to get your hands dirty and connect with the earth and Mother Nature, and just it's really exciting to see your plants grow. I mean, of course 1 or 2 might die along the way, but that's life, right? I think number 6, if you're looking for something fun, grow your own veggies. Be a green thumb. Okay, number 7 is to try eat less meat. So we all know the dairy industry and the meat industry, or generally the agriculture industry, is playing a major role in fucking up the world because of all the corn and the wheat and those kind of crops that we grow. Majority of them go to agricultural industries to feed the cattle and the pigs and the chickens, which we then eat, which is resulting in massive land degradation, massive water degradation, starvation in third world countries and even in first world developed countries. So basically, you know, there's a shit ton of shit that comes along with the steak that you eat every day. So number 7 is to try eat less meat. There's a thing called meat-free Mondays, where basically every Monday you just don't eat meat and you can eat meat for the rest of the week. And it's better for your health and it's better for the environment as well as your wallet, because meat's hella expensive. Now, because I am eating less meat, when I do eat meat, like I either really crave it to eat it, which makes me enjoy it and appreciate it so much more. And I guess when I do eat meat now, I do become a bit more mindful and like give thanks to the animal who sacrificed their life to provide energy for me. And I hope when I die, I can return that energy back to the earth and the cycle of life. So try eat less meat is number 7. Number 8. Last one. This is the last tip I'm gonna give to you guys, and I think this is a really important one, especially as I've realized over this year, and that is to get involved in the community. I guess when I wrote this, I was thinking initially the sustainable community, but I feel like in general, get more involved in your community is a really nice goal to set for 2020. But I'm going to speak about it a bit more in the sustainability context. I started studying about sustainable development 3 years ago now, and it was so nice to be in classes with people who are like-minded, and we had got to have like discourses and discussions about like, you know, what's more sustainable and how we can all achieve this kind of stuff. And just being in the environment with like-minded people was so nice. It was so nice to see people who had the same values or different perspective, which helped you grow and all that kind of stuff. It definitely boosted my morale, my motivation. And once I graduated, that kind of died down for me because I don't see my uni friends as much as before. They've all got full-time jobs. I've now got a full-time job, and we're all spread out around Sydney, and you know, life gets busy, whatnot. But this year I found myself going to more climate strikes. This year when I attended my first climate strike, and it was amazing. I didn't really talk to anyone there, but just the sense, the aura in the area was just amazing too. It was just so amazing being in the same area with people who had similar passions and similar interests. Because when I do my sustainable stuff, like I don't think of it as sustainable stuff anymore. I just think of it as daily living now. But like when I do those kind of things, sometimes I feel like I'm quite isolated. I'm the only one using the keep cup, or I'm the only one bringing my lunch to work every day kind of thing. And not being able to interact and communicate with people, it made me feel a bit like, am I doing enough? Like, is there even any point in what I'm doing? But joining those communities, joining those events, and seeing other people who are also taking actions and also doing their part in their daily lives to reduce their impact on the environment, it's just so wholesome. It's really, really nice, and I highly recommend, number 8, getting involved in your community. It doesn't have to be sustainability related, but like in any hobbies that you might like, or like even sporting events, like just meeting other people from other backgrounds and learning more things. And like, you know, it's eye-opening to see the world from a different perspective. I don't know, there's so much shit going on in the world sometimes. Like, it's nice to develop connections with other people, or, you know, other beings. That is tip number 8. I did want to keep this video short and concise, hence I only gave 8 suggestions. I hope you guys consider some of them. Remember to not let your goals take over your life. And like, if you don't achieve your goals, that's fine. It's part of a learning curve. It's part of developing. And like, you know, if you don't achieve your goals, you can always reflect upon why it didn't happen, and then in that sense, like, change it or adapt it to make it more achievable and more attainable. So I feel like it's nice to have smaller goals in place because it is more attainable, and, you know, I guess you feel better once you achieve a goal. You're like, oh my god, I did it. And it definitely helps with character building and development. So I guess I'll summarize quickly with my personal goals. To be honest, I'm still not sure if I have any goals. I guess I feel like because I've achieved most of my goals this year, I'm quite happy with where I am right now. But of course I don't want to stagnate, and I want to keep growing. So I think what I'm going to do for next year is watch a documentary or read a book about sustainability, or like, you know, how fucked up the world is, every fortnight. I also want to continue practicing mindfulness and minimalism. Like, not inner mindfulness, but just being mindful of others, especially living in a share house now. My actions, even though they seem small, do affect the actions and the behaviors and the daily lives and the feelings of my share mates. So, you know, trying not to leave things out, just small actions like that. Like, you don't realize it can amount to anything, but honestly, it can make or break a mood. I definitely want to try go vegetarian. That's going to be my biggest step. It's going to definitely be hard, but I think I'm going to break it down and maybe do baby steps. So instead of like going cold turkey, I might continue what I'm doing now, and like, rather than like every fortnight, try eat meat maybe once a month, and then after that slowly convert. But I guess my biggest problem is dairy products, because I do love my dairy products. I'm slowly weaning myself off dairy milk, but like cheese, I love cheese. It's a problem. So yeah, those are my goals. I would love to hear what your goals are going to be for next year, whether they're sustainable or not, any goals, because it's always so interesting to hear what other people have decided for themselves, because then it gets you thinking in a different way about yourself as well. Like, oh, maybe that is like something I would like to achieve as well. So I feel like it's always interesting. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will try to post more regularly. And I hope you guys have enjoyed your Christmas break, and I wish you all the best in 2020. To everyone who's been watching my videos, thank you guys for watching my videos. There's not a lot of you guys out there, but you guys like hit me up and be like, oh my god, I watched this video and like it made me think about this, that. Like, hearing that I am helping you guys make the world a better place, it really makes me feel good. So sorry for the tears, but thank you a lot. So bye guys.